It is the very end of May in 2025, and there's a chance that the $7,500 EV tax credit is going to go away on new vehicles. So, what kind of deals are there out there right now? Last week we made a video about what was in the House budget bill and how it affected EVs. We talked about the new registration fee that the House is wanting to impose. It still has to get through the Senate, but what's going to happen, who knows. But it does look like the EV tax credit's going away. So I wanted to do an updated EV Market Watch video, and I'll probably do these with a little bit more frequency between now and the end of 2025, just to kind of have a good idea of the market. So, and this changes a lot. I did this research probably about 5 days ago, and looking again yesterday, the numbers have changed a little bit just in that amount of time, especially with GM. Now, there's a long list of cars that qualify for the new EV tax credit from the federal government because of where they're built and having their battery parts and minerals sourced from the U.S. So not every EV is available. There are price caps on them, etc. But within that, I looked up 36 different cars when you look at make, model, and trim levels, and there's probably a few more because I didn't get too far into the weeds on the Kias and the Hyundais because by the time I got to the H's and the K's, I was a bit worn out. The C's wore me out. So I'm not going to detail all 36 of these. I'm going to break it down into some price ranges and go from there. So I have my list on my phone and I've color coded it, so you're going to see me looking down, etc. So if monthly payment isn't really that big of a deal for you, I'm going to start at the high end and work our way down. What I did was I went to each manufacturer's website, found out what their promotional finance rate was, limited the term to 72 months, and assumed that there was zero cash out of pocket down, meaning that you would use the EV tax credit and any other incentives that the manufacturer had. And all of these are figured off of MSRP. A lot of these manufacturers, if you go to that car dealership, the car dealership may offer some additional discounts, and you might be able to get it for less or substantially less, but you got to go through the car dealership process to do that. So let's start on the high end. These vehicles qualify for the tax credit, but are going to have a monthly payment of between $1,072 a month and $1,284.
If you can spend that much on a car, yay for you.
Okay, so, and they are the Ford F-150 Lightning Flash, the Genesis electrified G70, the Tesla Cybertruck Long Range, the Chevy Silverado EV LT, the Ford F-150 Lightning Lariat, and the Tesla Cybertruck Dual Motor. So the trucks, with the exception of that Genesis electrified G70, a high-end luxury car, and the electric pickups, and it's almost every trim of F-150 Lightning is there, in that it's going to be over $1,000, even with the incentives that they have. And I mean, all of them have a rebate. They all have some kind of rebate. The Fords are like around $1,500. The GM, it's like $250 for a Conquest rebate. Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia have this weird thing where they've got a $7,500 rebate if you pay cash. If you buy the car cash, you can get an additional $7,500 off. But if you're financing, you don't get that rebate, as I understand it. I may have read it wrong, but I don't get too far into the legalese. $1,000 a month or more, $1,000 to $1,200, or
I don't know about you. That sounds like a lot of money to spend on a vehicle.
We could be we could be showing our age. Yeah. To us, that's a house payment.
Yes, exactly. But of course, people are spending way more than that.
People are spending way more than that for houses now too. So maybe we just got to catch up with the times.
Yeah.
We've lived in our house long enough that it's paid off. So
right.
If you go down to the next price bracket is the $900 range. So this range goes from $908.62 up to $994. 994. And starting with the least expensive moving up, you've got the Cadillac Lyriq Luxury 1 trim level, the Hyundai Ioniq 9 S, the Jeep Wagoneer S, the Acura ZDX all-wheel drive Type S, and the F-150 Lightning XLT. The F-150 Lightning XLT was the only electric truck that qualified for the federal tax credit that wasn't going to have a $1,000 a month payment, but under the parameters that I put on it, it's $994, and that's with a 3.9% interest rate. Some of these, like the Silverado, is a 0.9% interest with a $250 conquest plus additional $500 discount if you have a job that like you're a first responder, educator, military, work for GM, you get another $500 off. Even with that, it's $1,128.
I don't know anybody who has any of those jobs who can afford an $1,128 car payment.
And we're talking $900 a month for the Jeep Wagoneer and the Acura ZDX, and both of them have 0% financing for 72 months. So if you can afford that, you're going to get a pretty nice car, but hey, not really the focus of the channel. Let's go to the next bracket. This is the $800 bracket. This payment ranges from $839 to $895, and these vehicles are the Kia EV9, the Chevrolet Blazer EV SS, the Acura ZDX A-Spec, the Honda Prologue EX, Cadillac Optic, Luxury One, and the Acura ZDX all-wheel drive A-Spec. So that's in the $800 range. Again, we've got rebates as high as $400 on the Acura, financing as low as 0% on the Acura, 0.90 on the Blazer, 0.99 on the Honda Prologue. So again, there are good deals to be had if you can afford that payment, because that's still what it's going to be. Then we get into the $700 payment range, and this is where I bring up where I want to bring up a point. There are only two cars that you can get right now that qualify for the EV tax credit for $700, for less than $800 a month, that are not either a Tesla or a Chevrolet. There's only two, and they are the base models of their cars. So if we look in the $700 range, there's three. These payments range from $703 to $756, and that's going to be a Chevy Blazer RS all-wheel drive, a Chevy Blazer EV RS rear-wheel drive, or a Tesla Model 3 Performance. Those are in the $700 range. In the $600 range, here's where those two non-Chevy, non-Teslas come in. And one of them is on the high end of this, in the $600 a month payment range. Payments as low as $639, as high as $684. And in order, from least expensive to most, is the Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive, the Chevy Blazer EV RS front-wheel drive, the Tesla Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, that's one of the non-Tesla, non-Chevys, but that's the SE standard range trim, the Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive, and the Kia EV6 Lite. Now, with the Kia and the Hyundai, they have finance rates of 2.99 on the Hyundai, 3.49 on the Kia, but they've got select models of the Ioniq 5 at $7,500, but it's cash only. It's only if you pay cash you get that, or $3,000 on the Kia, but that's cash only. With the Teslas, both trims, the rear-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive of the Model Y, and the all-wheel drive of the Model 3, they have these Heroes bonuses, which is going to be for, again, military, first responders, and teachers, and that you can get $1,000 deducted. Plus, if you use a referral code, you can get some more money off of it. And you know what? I'll put my referral code down in the description, so anybody who watches this video has access to a referral code. Yes, I will get a little bit off of it. I might even be able to put it towards a carb or just charging or something, but you'll get a bigger benefit from that. But the Chevy is where there's some real stuff, because in addition to the tax credit, if you own a Chevy Bolt, you're going to get a loyalty bonus of $2,500 on that Blazer. And there are some other Chevys that it's $3,000. And again, with that same, like with the Heroes for Tesla, Chevy, same kind of jobs is $500 off. The Chevy financing is at 0.9. The Model Y financing is at 2.99 for 0 down and 72 months. If you put 15% down, your finance rate will be 1.99. And the Model 3, it's 0.99, but you can take it to 0% if you finance for 60 months. The Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive does not have a promotional offer on it right now. And that's weird. It is a good deal of a car, but without the promotional financing, it's only $3 a month less than the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y, and that choice right now as it stands makes absolutely no sense to me. I would, if I could afford a long-range Model Y all-wheel drive, or if I could afford the long-range rear-wheel drive at the payment that's there, I'd bump it $3 a month and get the all-wheel drive. I'd get the dual motor. I'd have a little bit more speed. I'd have the all-wheel drive on there. I'd lose range, but I would gain traction.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on the ones that I've mentioned so far?
Well, I mean, the Chevy has the most aggressive financing and rebate options, especially if you own a Bolt. If you're one of those, categories of people that they want to help out, like the first responders, the teachers, things like that, and their price point is within reason for someone who has one of those jobs. And plus, I know a lot of our subscribers are Bolt owners, as are we. So that seems like one to really take a look at if you are, a regular on this channel. Most of those other ones, like we've talked about before, you just get so much more bang for the buck from a Tesla for the most part. You're getting usually better range, you get the better charging network, you get, just a slicker technology. Most of what you get in the Tesla is going to be superior to what you get in a comparably priced car from anybody else for the most part.
More creature comforts, I think, is a term that I've heard a little bit more frequently. So let's go in. We're getting down now into the cars that I really should be focused on for the channel, because we've always tried to focus more on the budget end of EVs. So these cars are between, where's my payment column? I lost my payment column. $529 to $591.24. So this is the $500 a month payment range, and they are from least expensive to most. The Chevy Equinox EV RS front-wheel drive, the Blazer EV LT front-wheel drive, the Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive, then the Chevy Equinox LT2 all-wheel drive, the Blazer LT all-wheel drive, and the Equinox RS all-wheel drive. Now, with those, again, going from this car into one of those Chevys, even if we went to the Equinox RS all-wheel drive, which currently is the top-of-the-line Chevy Equinox, we would still be losing some creature comforts. We would be, I think we'd get dual zone climate control in that one, but if we went to an LT of either the Blazer or the Equinox, we'd lose the dual zone air conditioning that this Model 3 has. The Model 3 in 2025 has ventilated seats.
Nice.
And at this price point, in those the Equinox does not have the ventilated seats, at least in any of the standard packages, and the Blazer does, but only on the RS and the SS. The Blazer doesn't have the ventilated seats on the LT.
And if you live in a hot climate like we do, that ventilated seat is really attractive.
So, but again, same financing, and here we're talking about all of them are at 0.90 or 0.99% financing. They've all got that additional discount for military, first responders, teachers, and the Chevys have that loyalty bonus if you own a Bolt of $2,500, or on the Equinox. When I put in this Equinox RS front wheel drive, it said $3,000 loyalty bonus. Now, if you don't own a Bolt, you can still, there are other things that you can check off that can get you about $2,000 instead of the $2,500, $1,500 to $2,000 instead of the $2,500 to $3,000. It's just like a little extra loyalty bonus for the Bolt owners. Then we get into the three least expensive, and surprise, surprise, they're all of them Chevy Equinoxes. And I'm going to go from top down here on these bottom three. The Equinox LT front wheel drive, and these Equinoxes have the $3,000 loyalty bonus for Bolt owners. 0 down, 72 months. The Equinox LT2 front wheel drive would be $497.42. The Equinox LT1 all wheel drive would be $463.11, and the LT1 front wheel drive, bottom of the line, base model Equinox EV, would be $365.94.
Wow.
Now that's
a lot more affordable than anything else on this list so far.
Okay, that is the payment we have on our Bolt right now is $325. And that car would be
it's a step up. It's a bigger car.
It's a step up in equipment. Let me rephrase that. It's a step up in size, and it's a step up in charging speed. It's a slight step down in equipment at that price, because to get that 365, you're going no packages, and
stripped down.
Our Bolt has a package on it, has a comfort and convenience package that includes the heated front seats, the heated steering wheel.
That actually helps a lot.
And I had no idea how much I wanted to have a heated steering wheel until I had one.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to not have it.
Yeah.
That Equinox, you'd probably have to at the least add on one of those packages, and that'd bring it up closer to $400. I think it was just a tick under $400 a month with that comfort and convenience package on it. And unlike a few months ago, when those very inexpensive Equinoxes were they didn't exist. They were ad leaders like, this is coming soon. You can look on the Chevy website, and it's going to tell you where the inventory is of that vehicle, spec'd out the way that you want it.
So you can buy one today.
You can get them.
That's great. And just to add on, I mean, if you're in the market for an EV of that type, an Equinox would definitely be one to look at. We love our Bolt so much. It's always been very reliable, very comfortable, very easy to drive, very smooth, very economical. And so Chevy knows how to build an EV.
They do, and that's why they've retaken the number 2 spot in the U.S. In terms of sales, and they've got 3 EVs with multiple different trims and all of that that are available.
And they're for the entry level market. It is something that is within reach for someone who is not planning to spend a premium for being an EV. You don't necessarily want to have a luxury vehicle. You just want a normal car that happens to also be an EV, you know.
If I was still daily driving the Bolt, I would be hunting down one of those Equinoxes with all of the incentives that GM has on that car right now. If I was still daily driving the Bolt, I'd be saying, hey, that's what we need to do, is look at one of these Equinoxes, look at an LT1 with a package or an LT2, and go for it that way. Problem is, I've driven this Model 3 for a year now, and it has kind of spoiled me with some of its creature comforts that the Equinox isn't going to have, especially in that lower trim level.
Yeah.
And so for me, the Model 3 rear-wheel drive would be an increase in range of about 100 miles. I'm down to having about 250 miles of projected range when I'm at 100% in this car, and that Model 3 rear-wheel drive would be at 363. I'd have faster charge speeds because of its different battery chemistry. It can charge at 250 kilowatts compared to 170 max on this car. And I'm knocking on the door at 90,000 miles. I'm almost out of warranty, so that'd be a reset on the warranties. And so that's kind of attractive. But what would make me be jumping into it, and you might see, there's a chance that you would see order videos and delivery videos, is if Tesla put that promotional financing on the Model Y rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
If that existed right now, I might be making a move that way. But that doesn't exist right now, so I'm not making any moves right now.
You guys benefit from the fact that he's looking, because all of this research was done so that he could decide whether it was the right time to buy a new car.
Right.
So
that's why I'm
you're
doing
welcome.
it, and so I'm passing on what I've learned, and hopefully you found it useful for you. And sometime in the next couple of weeks, speaking of Tesla, they're supposed to be launching the Cybercab service in Austin. I was just in Austin a little over a week ago and saw a bunch of, I either saw a lot of Waymos, Jaguar I-Paces with the LiDAR systems on top of them driving around, or I saw the same two Waymos over and over and over again.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yes.
But I was like, it seemed like they were everywhere. And now there's going to be Tesla's Cybercabs out there as well. I don't think they're going to be the little two-door coupes. I think they're going to be the refreshed Model Ys driving around with the unsupervised FSD software.
Yeah,
And they're going to be geo-fenced to Austin, so
that's just a whole
we'll be
nother
keeping an eye on
topic.
that. But they're also supposed to be, in the month of June, releasing the Model 2 or Model Q, whatever the lower cost Tesla is supposed to be. And right now, anybody who says that they've got information on it right is going off of a lot of speculation. I am not going to speculate what that car is going to have, what that car is going to not have, what it's going to look like. But it's supposed to be announced in June. And you know, Tesla always does things when they say they're going to.
Yeah, well, we will see. No, that's what I
that was-
always say whenever Tesla announces anything, is
It's
I'll
like,
believe it
yeah,
when I see
well,
it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because it hardly ever happens. Usually
Yeah.
they've got to give a date for something.
Yeah,
And
if
they're
they
gonna-
don't give
when
a
they
date
say this
soon,
month of this year or the middle of this year or by this quarter,
it usually means they're making
probably
it
not
up.
going to happen. But
Yeah.
if they give a date, that's a different story, which is why on the Cybercab stuff they said June 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So they've given a date. That date's not too far away. That date's probably going to happen. But whether or not that lower cost Tesla comes out, I don't know. It might not give up some of the creature comforts that are necessary, and might be about $8,000 cheaper.
There's just no telling.
You never
until
know
you see it.
until we
Yeah.
see it, until we get the information.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a whole month left in this quarter. There might be some more aggressive financing offers coming out next month from Tesla. And if they don't, then maybe they'll have some more aggressive ones in Q3.
Yeah. I'm curious, for the viewers, I'd like to know if you're in the market to buy a new EV, and if so, which price point are you looking at, and which of the cars that we talked about today are most attractive to you?
Put that down in the comments. I'm going to keep kind of updating this market here for a while now, just because with that EV tax credit going away, I just think it would be good information to get out there. I've got a road trip that I'm going on. It's a solo road trip. It's just me.
I'm not
because
coming.
I'm going. It's for work. It's for my job, and I'm going to San Marcos, Texas. So it's going to be about a 400 to 500 mile round trip, somewhere in there. Not that big of a deal. Not a multi-part round trip, but
Are you going to get the
road trip.
FSD for it?
But I am thinking I'm going to activate an FSD subscription for that road trip, and just see how FSD is behaving now. It's been what, since November? It's been about 6 months since we've
Yeah.
tried anything with FSD, 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
So
Take another look at it.
see if there's any kind of software update that we've missed or anything like that. So subscribe. Be sure that you don't miss those videos. And again, if you need a Tesla referral code, if you need one, I'm putting one down there. I'm putting mine down there in the description. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.